We're recording, we're going. Let's line up the sound. Oh, bitch.
Ooh, GMat. Yay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this very special video. I'm not going to do this regularly. This isn't my thing. Talking to the camera. I hate it. Currently upgrading my office. And right now I'm working off a coffee table while I wait for my new desk to arrive. So I couldn't really sit down and game, and I figured, you know what? Let's do something different. And so I'm gonna do something. That I've always wanted to do. But before I do that, I should mention this shirt here, Jazz Daddy. That's right. Down below, it's all integrated into YouTube. But head over to teespring.com/stores/TheRealGMat to pick up some GMat merch. It's all there. You got mugs, you got socks, you got shirts. You got the fucking jumpers, you got the hoodies, you got it all fucking there for you to use. I'm talking to you through a webcam right now, you're not fucking listening to the words I'm saying. I am filming with a webcam, by the way. I feel like you guys deserve to know that. Oh, Jesus. So go and get yourself a shirt, go and get yourself a Jazz Daddy, and use the promo code GDaddy to get 25% off for all of you who are struggling at the moment. So today, for this very special video, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I just love. The Final Fantasy, I point over there because my PlayStation is over there. The Final Fantasy 7 remake just came out, and I got early access to it, and I've beaten it now. I've just straight up beaten it. I sat there for about 3 days straight, just plowing through it, and I fucking loved it. But more importantly than that, Aiden loved it. This was and has been Aiden's first adventure, first time jumping into any Final Fantasy game and jumping into the Final Fantasy world. And because of this, we have been talking non-stop about Final Fantasy. We get deep into it. We're talking about the lore and about the characters and about just the original game and the development and all that sort of stuff. We veered off topic the other day of Final Fantasy 7, and we started talking about Final Fantasy 15. And these conversations gave me the idea, why not bring this conversation over to you guys and try and convince you guys to play Final Fantasy. Fucking thing, Jesus Christ. Sit, I keep knocking over the mic. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. Today, I will be discussing 4 Final Fantasy games that you should play right now. I won't be presenting them in any particular order. I won't be telling you guys which is my favorite, which one costs more, costs less. I will just be giving you the information in the hopes that you will jump into what is possibly my favorite series of all time. There are a few games from the Final Fantasy series that I've left out of this list. Not because they're not good, but just because I don't think they're the right games for people to jump in for their first time. I think these four are the best ones for somebody to jump into. But I will mention, just briefly, some of the ones that aren't going to come up on the list. Final Fantasy 8. Final Fantasy 8 is great, but it's also polarizing. A lot of people hate Final Fantasy 8, and a lot of people love it. Like, people think it's their favorite, or people think it's the worst thing ever made. That's not why I didn't put it in. I simply just didn't put it in because I think the systems within Final Fantasy VIII, the junction system and the combat and everything, still follows the Final Fantasy style, but I think it's better suited to somebody who understands how Final Fantasy combat works and understands the world, not for someone who's first jumping into it, because it is fucked. It's the worst. I didn't mention Final Fantasy Tactics. There's nothing wrong with Final Fantasy Tactics, any of the Final Fantasy Tactics series. It's just whatever, you know. It's cool. And the original one on the Game Boy Advance, bueno, it's fucking good. But I didn't mention it. I'm not going to mention it. Don't talk about it. Stop looking at me like... I also didn't mention the original Final Fantasy on the Nintendo. It's so readily available. You can play it anywhere. You can emulate it. I'm sure it's very easy to get your hands on, but who cares, you know? The diehard Final Fantasy fans are like, oh, this is so fucking good. This is so fucking good. But for anyone who's just joining the series, they're going to be like, okay. Yeah. This is a game. So anyways, I'm going to go play something that was made in the last 2 years. So I didn't mention that one. There are a handful of others. Final Fantasy V has such an amazing story. And there's, and Final Fantasy Online, Final Fantasy 14, the online game is unreal. Not something you should jump into straight away. I wouldn't put it in my top 4. So instead, like I've said 1,000 fucking times, top 4. Why 4? It's just these 4 games I always talk about, and I could have gone 5, I could have gone 3, but I didn't want to do that because I'm an original. Sometimes not only do you have to think about outside the box, but you got to think about the corners of the box. How many corners are there? 4, so I pick 4. Fuck you. Look at this artwork around me. Over in that up there, that's a picture that Beck drew for me, and we call him Long Matt. And that's a nude that Beck drew for me. It's not her nude, you fucking scumbags. It's just our nude. You know what else someone got for me? A little bit of fucking fan art by Fish Glob. I'm not that thin, and I don't have blue eyes, and I've never worn a blue hoodie in my life. But apart from that, fucking phenomenal work. If anybody else wants to send me fan art, don't do it. Just send me some KFC. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, at least I've got your attention. That's what's important. And I understand that Final Fantasy isn't exactly a name, a title, a game that sort of screams attention. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons and fucking Magic the Gathering. It all sounds a little bit... But these games have some of the best stories that you'll ever read, ever watch, ever hear. Set in some of the most amazing worlds and realms and realities. Every single game is different. The world and the universe and the rules and the time, it's all different. It's all original stories. All right, let's do it. Let's stop talking. Let's do it. Without further ado, here are 4 Final Fantasy games that you should play and can play right now. Kicking us off is Final Fantasy X. By far, one of the easier Final Fantasy games to jump into. The story of Final Fantasy X is engaging. The combat is fantastic, and the game is actually really, really challenging. You guys, sometimes it's really fucking hard. Tidus, a young blitzball player. Now, blitzball is like underwater soccer, hockey, football, something. Tidus is attacked by a giant monster named Sin. Interesting thing in this story is how they introduce the main beast villain of the game within the first 10 minutes. I like that. I like it a lot. Okay, Square Enix, well done. The monster, Sin, sucks him away, and he wakes up in this new world that he just doesn't recognize. Not only is like... does he not recognize where he is, but his hometown where he's from, Zanarkand, has been destroyed and uninhabitable for hundreds of years. It is just the best intro to a game ever, you guys. The game is fucking fantastic. It's got a cast of these amazing characters. It has a new, interesting take on the classic Final Fantasy combat series. Final Fantasy X is one of the last games, excluding Final Fantasy 10 Part 2, where they keep this original Final Fantasy combat style, and it is by far, arguably, the most refined of that classic style. The worlds are brilliant, the world they've built is brilliant, the landscapes are interesting and cool. It is just bueno. I'm not a great reviewer, obviously. I don't do reviews. So for all these Final Fantasy games, I'm just gonna lay out a couple of things that are just fucking sick about the game and just let you guys run free. The graphics, they're fine. It's PS2 era, so the great thing about this one, as opposed to the others, is it's easy enough to look at. You're not gonna sit there trying to squint your eyes to understand what that fucking pixel is. It's easy to look at. It's easy to get through. It has the most amazing character upgrade system. This upgrade system is built into what is a long fucking game, which means you can plan out these elaborate and crazy fun character builds for every single character. Also, the story's neat. The story is it's really good. I love it so much. And genuinely, I believe you'll like it as well. Go play Final Fantasy X. The second Final Fantasy game that I think you should play right now, and can play right now, is Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII. The remake's great, go play that as well, but the original Final Fantasy VII. In this Final Fantasy game, you take control of the central character, Cloud Strife, who is a soldier who once worked for the bad guys, who now sides with the good guys to just basically to pay some bills. And eventually, Cloud just gets slightly more invested in their cause, and that is the setup for the whole game, saving the universe. It's a pretty general setup, and it's been done before, but it's fucking amazing story. Yes, let's be real. It is very hard on the eyes, but it's also really, really charming. That's one of those things that people forget is brilliant about the original Final Fantasy games, is that you move from frame to frame in these worlds, and whilst your character sort of flies around the screen like a frantic pinball, the game is made up of these beautiful stagnant backgrounds that are just so fun to look at. And fuck, in this game, there is a lot to look at. This is a dainty fucking microphone. I was gonna clip it to my thing, but I feel like a presenter. I feel like I'm hosting The Price is Right, but like in the 70s. The materia system for using magic and enhancing your characters is just dope. The armor and the weapons have materia slots. In these slots are materias for fire, lightning, cure, first attack. You place these in those slots to give your characters advantage in battle. It gets more intricate when you get slots that are adjoined as well. Like you can place fire and all in those two slots, so when you cast fire on an enemy, you melt every single one of his fucking friends as well. The combat is fantastic. The battles are so perfectly paced that they feel super challenging and always engaging. Every single time someone compares the Final Fantasy battle system to Pokemon, I want to just fucking punch them in the throat. The story is dope, but it also has enough goofiness to put a smile on your face. And the music, oh my god, kill me, you guys. The music, oh my god. Go play Final Fantasy VII. Go play it right now. Up next, it's Final Fantasy 15. Yes. Let's not harp on it. Let's not carry on. Let's not drag this out. It is just good fucking fun. The focus of the Final Fantasy games can get a little all over the place, which is dope in Final Fantasy VII when you play an entire chapter as Barret, but it can get a little loopy when you're just trying to zone out. Final Fantasy 15 is perfect for that zoning out in just sitting on the couch, maybe getting a little bit fucking high. I'm telling you guys, the majority of the game is the exact same quest that you get given at the start. The rest is driving, cooking, fighting, looking at boobs. It's very fun. It's a very fun game. There's a shit ton of extra stuff to do as well. Missions and a crazy Titan, big boy. Oh my god. This one is a winner, a big winner in my books. There's like two things that you might not enjoy in the classic Final Fantasy games, which is the battle system and the outdated graphics. And you don't need to stress in Final Fantasy 15, and you don't need to stress in Final Fantasy 15 because they're both absent. The game looks beautiful, and they've gotten rid of the old combat system for a new, smoother, classic sword-swinging combat system, which moves from gameplay into combat with so much fluidity that it makes me want to fucking squirt. Play Final Fantasy 15 right now. Right. Next up and last on my list of Final Fantasy games you should go and play. And by the way, if you do enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to me on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheRealGMat. I'm streaming almost every day, not at the moment, but I get back into it on Tuesday. Here's some of the great content you're missing out on. Chipped teeth. The number one cause of chipped teeth in the US is glasses. And so we've invented this patented no toothy touch Trinky glass. Let me give you a brief demonstration. Now, it's very simple. All you have to do is lift the... it's ergonomic and designed very well. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And I almost got a mouthful there. Support me, support yourselves, support. We're going into the last game that you guys should play. And I know I wasn't going to do this in any particular order, and I wasn't going to tell you which one was my favorite, but throughout filming this video, I've decided I forgot all about that original premise, and I'm going to tell you right now, Final Fantasy VI is my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. And by far, I would argue, the easiest to jump into for your first time. Everything beyond Final Fantasy VI will feel newer, will feel fresh, and feel like it's being taken from this as a source. Arguably, I'm wrong, but also I'm never wrong about anything. Shut your dick. Fucking shut up. Shut your dick. Shut your smelly dick. Shut your smelly fucking dick. Final Fantasy VI! This is as far back as I'll make you go. Oh, by the way, Final Fantasy VI was also called Final Fantasy III in some releases. I don't know what that's about, but let's just stick to the PlayStation 1 release of Final Fantasy III, which was called Final Fantasy VI. That's how I learned about it. I think it was Final Fantasy III on the SNES. Either way, I don't know how to help you out there. You got to do a little bit of research. You got to do some stuff on your own, guys. I can't fucking spoon feed you the whole way through this fucking video. Final Fantasy VI, go do it. Final Fantasy VI is old, but it's actually a lot easier to look at than Final Fantasy VII. Because they use this top-down view and these cute little character sprites. Yeah, the graphics are outdated, but they're not reaching. They're not trying something new. They're doing something that's been tested. Therefore, it looks great for what it's supposed to be. The combat is simple, but interesting, and the visuals within the combat system are not ridiculous, but somehow still look really, really fantastic at the same time. The story, you guys, whoo! This story is where this one shines. Instead of taking control of a central character, you're really just given a giant roster of weird and interesting people that you can just sort out and chase whatever combination you want. Yes, there are parts of the game where you are forced to follow a central character, but really the game is freeing, somewhat freeing. I'm remembering, I didn't do a lot of research for this video, but it is somewhat freeing. Somewhat freeing. The game is set, unlike the rest, in a more steampunk-inspired world. You begin the story as Terra. God, is it Terra? I should fucking just do some goddamn research. Absolute fucking twat. I was right. I was right. Learn to trust your guts, man. Trust your fucking gut. Trust your guts. You begin the story as Terra, and after an initial prologue mission, she loses her memory and joins with the rebellion to fight the Empire. It sounds really familiar, but it's not, you guys. It's the same idea. It's the same story that we've seen told a million times, but it is just different. The fuck are you doing? This is why my channel doesn't blow up. It is an amazing story with just ridiculously interesting fights and sections and character arcs that will make you forget that you're playing a top-down Pokemon looking fucking RPG. I've not really said a word that would convince you to play this game. All I'm letting you go off is my energy and my attitude towards the game. And I cannot more recommend highlier Final Fantasy VI. You guys, go play Final Fantasy VI. Or Final Fantasy 3, if you're up. There you go, you guys. All these games are available on the PlayStation Store or on Steam. And weirdly enough, they're available for like nothing. Like some of them are available for a few bucks. They are awesome games. And assuming you either have a PlayStation or a PC, I don't know about Xbox because I don't play Xbox because I don't trust like that. Assuming you have one of these systems as I've spoken about, the games are very ready for you, and we're all in isolation anyway. So why not go over there, put 20 bucks down, buy yourself a copy of one of these games I've suggested, and just fucking go crazy. Get lost in the world, explore, try some things, just try out a new series, and I promise you, you might get so hooked on Final Fantasy that you go through and play the entire roster of games. I wouldn't suggest that because there is a lot of fucking garbage. One more thing I want you guys to do for me. If you do follow my advice and you do play one of these games, please feel free to update me in the comments. I want to see where you guys are in the game. Are you enjoying the game? Did you hate the game? Did you try one, move on to another? Did you finish one? I want you guys to fill me in on your Final Fantasy adventures because I genuinely fucking care about your Final Fantasy adventures. Stay active in the thread below in the comments. I will try and stay as active as I can. And I hope you guys have as much fun in isolation as I have been playing all these old Final Fantasy games. And hopefully isolation is over soon as well. And I hope you guys are staying healthy. I hope you're staying well. Don't forget, if you have the opportunity, step outside onto your balcony, step out onto your front yard, put your head out your apartment window, do something to get a bit of sun on your face, get some vitamin D, get a bit of fresh air. During this weird time, we want to be healthy, but we also want to really take care of our mental health. And the best way to do that is to get out. And of course, getting out is not something we can do right now. So we have to find the middle ground for that, and that is just popping your head outside of your own home just to fucking feel the breeze of the world. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, guys. Make sure you are staying active in the GMat universe. I want to hear from you guys. And don't forget to burp aloud every opportunity you get. Alright, I'll see you guys at the next real video. I hope you enjoyed this weirdness. Fucking let's do it, boys! Bye!